Yo, what's going on everyone? Back at it with another build guide, and this one will be building the Defiant from Deep Space Nine. This is kind of what it looks like together, and now let's take it apart and start the build guide. Okay, now that the ship is apart, we can start the build guide. Starting out, we're going to use a landing bay. This is Demos landing bay. We will have some Stroud Eklund landing gear on the sides. These are the kind of sloped, rounded version on the side here. If you hit Y to flip the piece, you can get the different sides, or you can get just a flat piece on the side. But these are the side versions. Now, moving on to our first layer, this is where we're really going to start building the main ship here. We start out with a Stroud Eklund slope piece for the nose. It's just this front nose piece here, but flipped upside down. We then move on to Nova Galactic cowlings on the side. We put two of them on each side. And then you can use whatever habitats you want. I'm just using 3x1s to kind of get the body of the ship built. We have 6 3x1s on this layer, and then we put a 1x1 in the back to keep it even. We have a 2x1 and a 1x1 on the side. You could replace that with a 3x1. I don't know why I didn't. We then move on to a Stroud Eklund cowling on the side here. This is the side sloped one. It's like this on the top here. You just take the top version and you flip it. We then move on to our engines. This is a B-class engine. It's a Nova 1050 engine. We will use additional engines on the next layer, but this is the first layer of engines here. As you can see, it kind of has an overhang. We will connect that to the next layer, and we put that on the same side, on the other side. So we just mirror all that, and this is our first layer. This is a pretty simple ship. So you just kind of mirror all of it. Very symmetrical. We then want to line that up so that the nose of the ship is overhanging that landing bay. And you want your landing gear to continue the rounded nacelle part of the Defiant down. You want your landing gear to act as part of that. Moving on to our middle layer here, we start out with a Stroud nose cap. This is the same as the bottom piece, just flipped right side up. We then continue with Nova Galactic cowlings on either side. We do have our bridge on the ship is on the inside, so we're hiding the bridge. So if you're playing first person, it may not be the best view for ship combat. We have a 1x1 habitat on either side, as well as a 1x1 and another 1x1 in the center here. You could replace that with a 2x1. We have our our C-class grav drive and our C-class reactor. You could go with B-class because our engines are B-class. I just chose the biggest and best one I could buy. We have our 2 fuel tanks here in the center as well, and our shield generator is inside the ship with our storage on both sides. This is a S203 cargo hold storage. You can use whatever you want. This I just felt like fit the best for weight and storage. We have a 2x1 on the side here to connect our A-class white dwarf engine. We use these engines to improve our mobility of the ship. We will put one on the other side. We then continue with the Stroud Eklund cowlings on the side. These are that sloped kind of rounded edge piece here. Moving on to the back, we have our 2x1s. We have 3 2x1s for the back center. And then we will mirror that on this side with a 2x1, our white dwarf engine, and our Stroud Eklund cowlings. Very symmetrical, so you just kind of do one side and you copy it over the other. We can now grab this entire layer here and go back for our shield and cockpit to fit those in. Grab our shield and our cockpit, and we can put that here. You can use whatever shield you want to fit here, and you can use whatever cockpit will work here. This is the one I found the best. There may be another one out there that can fit here and work here, but the Stroud Eklund B400 bridge is the one I found to work best. Now moving on to our next layer, we start with a Stroud Eklund nose cap B. We have 2 Nova Galactic cowling 1LTFs on either side of that. It's a different one than we've been using. We then have 3 1x1 habitats right behind those. and a Nova Galactic 1L SF cowling on both sides. This is more of a rounded version. We have 3 Stroud Eklund cowlings. These are the side slope pieces again. We put those on the side, on both sides. Moving on to our main body of the ship here on this layer, we have a bunch of habitats. We have 4 1x1 habitats going straight down the center. You could replace those with a 2 2x1s. We have 2 2x1s on either side of those in the center. And then we have our 1x1s on both sides of the ship here for the back, as well as a Hope Tech Cap A aft kind of like roof layer here. It's like a half a tile tall piece here. We'll use those on the back of the ship, so we can grab this entire layer here and move this over. We needed those holes there to cover our reactors. If you put a smaller reactor or grav drive there, you don't necessarily need those holes. You could cover that with habitats. Let's grab our Hope Tech caps, and we'll put this on the back here to kind of make it like a stepped up, like a step. Moving on into our roof to kind of seal everything in, we have a bunch of different Hope Tech parts here. So you may have to go to the Velo star system and go to the Hope Tech planet and go to their manufacturer for that. We have a Hope Tech A for the center, a Hope Tech A port 4 for the left side here, a Hope Tech Cap A port mid, 2 of them in the middle here because this is 4 tiles long. We then have Hope Tech Cap A aft, port aft, and then starboard aft, and then we have starboard 4. We have a Hope Tech Cap A mid piece, and this is where we have our docker. This is a Nova Galactic top dock. And then we have our 2 Cap A starboard mid pieces. This layer connects straight to the habitats, so we can't just grab it all at the same time. We have to grab each individual piece. We will put this on top to kind of cover it up. And now you have the USS Defiant from Deep Space Nine built. Let me know what you all thought. I do have weapons on the bottom. You can put whatever weapons you want on. I just kind of put some random ones on there. But that's the Defiant. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you build it, and we'll catch you next time.